someone who has a book in mind, maybe all you want to think about is just writing the darn thing, right? And there's so many other aspects to the author journey that can often feel confusing and overwhelming. And should I even be thinking about all those things yet? And not only that, but there's so many voices. There's such beauty in technology that we have the world at our fingertips, and you can connect with people all over, and you can do so many more things now than in times past. But at the same time, it has become noisy and crowded, and there's so many pieces of information and so many voices, and it's hard to kind of sift through and figure out, okay, but who should I listen to, and what's really going to work, and how do I really make the best decision to get where I want to go, without ending up making those decisions as much, right, of those things that you're like, oh, I wish I would have known what I know now, or I wish I would have understood this one thing before I had made that decision, right? And I don't want to say regret, because I believe that through each thing, there's a lesson, right? There's things you can learn, and you can grow, and you can, become more, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, more skilled or more knowledgeable or whatever, right? So I'm Katelyn Silva, and I have personally written and published 11 books in the last few years with 5 bestsellers. Some of those are under a pen name. And I'm the founder of We Write Books, and I specifically help Christian women to get that book that they feel like they're supposed to write, or that they're meant to write, or that just have been on their heart for a long time, to finally get it written and published a bestseller in 6 months or less, and then use that for that bigger purpose of impact and authority, and really accomplishing that God-given purpose. And guys, that can be for fiction or nonfiction. So as I'm talking about all those different things nowadays, and actually just wanting to get that book accomplished, I recently was talking with someone who was sharing with me just how frustrated and devastated she was after navigating through some things that left her feeling disgruntled and just taken advantage of, and feeling like she got there with the book, but not in the way that really uplifted her and encouraged her and helped her to get there in the right way. And guys, I have to talk about this, because it's something that just breaks my heart hearing about it. I think anyone who's walked through the journey with some kind of publisher in some aspect, and I don't want to diss publishers, they have their place, but there can be some things that come up during that process. And especially if you have this vision you're trying to create and you're not sure of the exact steps to get there, it can feel like, who do I trust, and where do I turn to? So I wanted to make a video to just talk about some things to consider as you're choosing who to work with, who to publish with, what decisions to make, so that you're not ending up in a situation where you feel like the same thing, like you're taken advantage of, or you're in the wrong place, or you just got there in a way that didn't leave you feeling empowered to be able to go and make those next decisions on your own with confidence, and being able to accomplish that bigger vision that you have for you and your book, right? So first things first is you really want to make sure that you do some background check on the person or the publisher or whatever it is that you're looking into. You want someone who's going to be transparent with you and honest with you, and that has a track record, right? So maybe they have other reviews, or maybe it's their own accomplishments. When I was first starting out with my business and with working with clients, I didn't have all these testimonials, but I did have a good track record with my own results. I had books that I had done, I actually hit bestseller, and I knew the process, and any questions that someone had that they brought to the table, I was able to answer them in an adequate way that didn't make them feel like I was being vague or leaving out information, right? So really ask those questions. Don't be afraid to interview the person that you're talking to, and really make sure that they're transparent, they have integrity, and they can back up what they're claiming with solid results, right? So make sure you do that background research as you're considering those things. The next thing, and this doesn't have to be in a particular order, guys. This is just what I, kind of thought about as I was going through this process. But what you want to consider is, are you aligned with this person in belief system and in your approach on life, and just the way that you go about not even just writing, but other things as well, and decision making. I'll give you guys an example. I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ, and I do believe in sharing the light that he has given me with the world. And I just know with a deep held conviction of, the things that are more important than kind of those trivial things in life that can feel huge, but really in the scheme of eternity, they kind of fade away, right? Things like family and friendships and love and my relationship with God and just different things like that, right? And I'm sharing that with you because, when you're looking at working with someone, whether it be a coach or a publisher or, whatever that looks like, look for opportunities to work with someone who has those same values that you do, that can rally behind you whenever you're sharing those passionate things that you have to say, or that message that's welling up inside of you, and can say, yeah, like, that's amazing. Let me encourage you. Let me pray for you. Let me rally behind you, right? Let me help you get that message to the world. You want someone that really aligns with you in that way. And then the next thing you want to really consider, so I talked about making sure you kind of do your research, right? Make sure that person's transparent, make sure that there's results, make sure you don't just jump into something blindly, right? And a part of that process is discovering their belief system and if they're aligned with you and all those things. And so the next thing is really making sure that you're on the same page, that you're with someone that's equally yoked, as the Bible would say it, right? And then the last thing that you really want to consider is looking at what they're offering you as a whole, and if it's going to give you that end result that you're looking for. I'll give you an example. So sometimes you get told that you're getting something, right? And it says, all these things you're going to get as a part of their program or their offer or whatever, but there isn't a specified end result. It's like, oh, you're going to get, this amount of coaching and this amount of services and whatever. It's like, okay, but what am I getting at the end? Like, what's the result, right? And of course, in the publishing world, it's a little bit more concrete. You're walking away with a published book, right? But a lot of times there is more nuance than just the published book. And so as a writer, guys, listen, especially for those of you that are not interested in being in the publishing industry and all of those, dynamics, and you just want to focus on writing, you just want to know your book is published, and you want to really focus on what you love most. I totally get that, okay? But it is so valuable in today's world with technology and all the things to at least spend a little bit of time and just become more familiar with the industry and what to expect. I have some other videos that talk about the step-by-step and the publishing process, so I'm happy to send those to you if you would find them valuable. But in the meantime, just really think about, what is it that you're going to get? Are they going to provide the cover for you? Are they going to do the ISBN registration? Are they going to do formatting for you? Are they doing some marketing for you? Are they helping you get on podcasts? Are they, what does that really look like? Get into some of the nitty gritty and find out what that end result really is, so that you don't just invest thinking that you're getting this outcome, but you don't know all the in between that might be missing, right? So just make sure that's included. I hope this helps if you're making some publishing decisions or any of those things. And I really wanted to make these kind of statements because if you are looking for someone, it's so important to pick someone that you can trust, right? And so if you are looking for some of those deeper steps, more of that information, wanting to understand that process in a way that's easily digestible, that's not overwhelming, it's very step-by-step, but still tells you what to consider, what to look out for, so that you can make those informed decisions, I would love for you to get a copy of my book, Idea to Print, which is literally the step-by-step guide from idea to print. So it will give you some of those clues about what to expect. It's digestible, just go one chapter at a time, and it will help you be able to accomplish that goal, regardless of the direction that you choose to take for your end vision. So I would highly recommend checking that out. I'll put the link in the description for you guys so that it's easily accessible in case you want to snag it. And I just want you to keep pushing toward that goal. Don't lose sight of that bigger vision with your book. And remember that your book can change a life.